watching Meet the Press last Sunday, as always, and you had Condoleezza Rice on, and I just assumed she was lying, and so I turned the sound up. And what did she have to say? Was she lying?
Well, here's the problem. They have not found the weapons of mass destruction, which was the primary rationale for the war. So what they're saying is that they weren't lying. It was based on the best intelligence they had. And then the next step would be, okay, if that was the best intelligence we had, what happened? And how do we find out that we will not make a similar mistake? Because we all want the President of the United States, no matter who he is or she is, in the years and decades to come, to stand up before the world and say, North Korea has nuclear weapons or Iran has nuclear weapons, and we have to do something about it. And we have ironclad evidence that can demonstrate that. And we want our word to be believed and accepted, and we want our own country united in those kinds of efforts. And until I think we resolve this in terms of Iraq, we're at risk in that regard. So there's a commission now that is investigating all this, and she said that she will testify but not under oath because that is custom and policy for someone who works for a president. The president's agreed to sit with the chairman and vice chairman, but only for an hour. They want him to sit with the commission, wants him to sit with the full committee and for commission for a longer time. And it just gives the impression of reluctance, although they are saying they are cooperating completely, and in fact, in the end, that may be the case. But I think this truly is an area where everybody, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, not only the CIA, but all the intelligence services, have to get it right. We have to find out why we had a war based on a rationale of weapons of mass destruction that apparently don't exist. It's in all our interest to find out what happened.
You know, I mean, maybe I don't understand what's going on, but why would you say I'll testify but not under oath? I mean, doesn't that sound crazy?
Or in public. They want to do it in private, yeah. They're afraid of, national security considerations, but you always can go in closed sessions, and they're afraid of precedent. For example, national security advisors never go testify before Congress. It's just a tradition, while the officers who are confirmed, the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, do so.
By the way, Doris Kearns-Goodwin is here with us this morning. Tim and I saw her on Meet the Press, and as she was on Meet the Press, she is here this morning dressed like Evel Knievel.
Doris is the best. There she is, right there. All right.
Hi, Tim.
How's Abe doing?
He's doing all right. Abe is going to be done in the fall and out in the spring, finally to life.
Don, Doris talks to Abe. It's really something. She comes to Washington, the Willard Hotel, and they have amazing conversations together.
Remember, who was it Martha Mitchell used to talk with? Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
Not comparing Doris to Martha Mitchell.
Channeling somebody.
Yeah.
I can't recall.
How about that? Who's that lady that does the Irish jig in the fiddle? That was something else.
God, she's
pretty good, isn't she?
I'll tell you, Don. Who is that?
Natalie McMaster, who was actually she's fairly well known, been all over the country, and Charles and I were reading the reviews about her various performances, different places, and she gets rave reviews in places. I mean, like the Washington Post, the New York Times, and some. So yeah, she's fabulous, isn't she?
I bet you, in your day, a couple shots of tequila, you were out there, huh?
First of all, I never just had a couple shots of tequila. That was a problem.
Once again, I stand corrected by the master.
So Barnacle was here this morning, and we were talking about how nasty the campaigning has gotten so early on here between the president and Senator Kerry, and Doris made the comment that it's probably always been that way. And what are your observations about this, Tim? And then you can weigh in as well, Doris, if you.
Well, it started. Here we are, St. Patrick's Day. Bobby Kennedy announced for the presidency on this day in 1968, and we already know who the nominees are, and we're going to have an 8-month campaign. And so I think a lot of the niceties that we used to somehow hold off until the convention, they were probably more formality than anything else, but we're witnessing a president, incumbent president, naming his opponent by name, which is somewhat unusual. But Doris...
Why is he doing that, do you think?
Well, I think he finds it necessary. The whole campaign for the president now, he knows it is based on the economy and on Iraq. And as goes those situations, will go his re-election effort. And those are two issues that he can't completely control, because outside events can affect them and interfere with them. Either make them better or make them worse. And he just does the best he can to try to oversee them, if you will. And so what he has to do is raise doubts about John Kerry. The White House believes that John Kerry emerged from the Democratic primary season seen by most people as this tall Democrat from Massachusetts, kind of out of the mainstream of political thinking.
It looks like Lincoln, by the way.
In Iowa, a lady actually said that, Lincoln without a beard. But now the Bush campaign is completely focused on defining John Kerry, and they're going to define him as the most liberal senator in the Senate. He makes Ted Kennedy the conservative from Massachusetts. They're going to try to on the internet. They have him with this a boxing match back and forth, taking both sides of every issue, and they're just going to keep hammering and hammering and hammering, so that when people get to know John Kerry across the country, particularly in those 18 battleground states we've talked about, they have a much different impression of him a month from now than they do right now. And the hope is that by it comes to the real end of the campaign, there'll be a sense that, even though the economy may not be perfect, even though Iraq may not be perfect, we are much more comfortable having, our guy, George Bush, in the Oval Office than this guy we didn't know, but now we've learned is out of the mainstream. Kerry, on the other hand, is going to say the whole issue is whether you want to rehire George Bush. Do you want a $500 billion deficit? Do you want this anxiety with the economy? Do you want this anxiety over Iraq? And I have 35 years experience, and I can sit in that Oval Office and make the difficult decisions. The nuance is the code word. Life is complicated, the world is complicated, and I can bring that kind of thinking to it. It's going to be a great race because no one's trying to morph the issues. No one's trying to suggest this is tweedledee, tweedledee-dum, no difference. These are two men with deep philosophical, political, and substantive differences, and that makes a great race.
But, Doris, it isn't nastier now, is it?
Well, I think what Tim is right. I suspect that this will be as nasty as any recent campaign has been, maybe since 1988 when George Bush Sr. ran. But in the long run...
Which we like, by the way, but go ahead.
No, but in the long run, the campaigns in the 19th century were much nastier than this. I mean, when Andrew Jackson ran, they put 6 coffins out there and pretended that he had murdered 6 people, and a handbill is sent around. When Van Buren was running, they had a song, Van Buren deserves the lowest place in hell, Van Buren. I mean, it's unbelievable. Then when Benjamin Harrison ran, his grandfather had been the general, William Henry Harrison, so they had a song, his grandfather's hat was too large for his head, which was a pea brain.
What are you, like a crazy woman?
No, but seriously, so it is.
I understand it, but I mean, she's in there, she's drunk.
No.
I think not.
I think not. But the point is, I think, that in the old days, they were circulars, they were songs, they were partisan newspapers, so you didn't have it in your face like you do now. Now you turn on your television and you're trying to watch something nice, and these ridiculous ads come on, so you can't escape it. So it feels nastier now, even though I think it was much nastier in the old days.
How about Grover Cleveland? Ma, where's my pa? Going to the White House? Ha, ha, ha.
Exactly. He had actually fathered an illegitimate child, so they had this little kid in a cartoon saying, Ma, where's my pa, as Tim said. But then meanwhile, his opponent was this guy, James Blaine from Maine, and the title of that was James Blaine, the Continental Liar from the state of Maine. So you see, it was much more, fluffy in those days.
That was rum, Romanism, and rebellion, wasn't
it? Oh, see, Tim knows his history. Rum, Romanism, and rebellion.
With, almost like sitting around a bar here at the Ritz-Carlton. But Doris Kirschman and Tim Russell on the Imus in the morning program. Did Senator Kerry challenge the president to a debate once a month on all of the issues up until the election? But that's certainly not going to happen. And I guess my question for you, Tim, is there will be debates, won't there, or not?
Yes, there will be. In the past couple cycles, the Commission for Debates, sponsored by the Republican and Democratic parties, have conducted them. There were 3 in the last cycle, and they already established the dates for 3 presidential debates and 1 VC debate. And, my sense is the challenger always accepts, and then the president in the past has always balked a little bit, but in the end they wind up doing them. And, 100 million people watch. They really are. They're not the debates like we read about in history with Lincoln Douglas, which is where Kerry, by the way, made his challenge. We should have debates like Stephen Douglas and Abraham Lincoln and travel around together. And he said, I'm not sure the president and I would go on the same plane, but we could have these debates. There's a little footnote in history, and I always wondered if it's true, and Doris would know, Don, is that in 1964, John Kennedy and Barry Goldwater had made an agreement that they would travel around the country together and have a series of debates, and then the president was assassinated. It never came to be. But it would be great. I mean, if you could have 2 candidates on stage debating Iraq for 3 hours, I mean, it would be tremendous for the country. And we now have the technology to do it. And then take the account. Let's talk about outsourcing for 1 hour and tell us everything you know about it. You really have a
I don't
sense.
think you need an hour for President Bush on that one.
There you go.
Or any of the others, for that matter.
But see, what happened is when Senator Kerry made his offer or his challenge, it was the day after he had said that the Republicans were crooked, and the Republicans said, you know what, Senator Kerry wants to change the subject in debate when he's already firing these mean words at us. So that's not going to happen.
You think Senator Kerry knew the mic was on?
I don't know. I mean, I read that his staff said both things. My sense is probably no, but, you know, he said it. And when you're on the campaign trail, talking to people, greeting them, trying to motivate them, fire them up, the mic's always on in your head.
Is the gay marriage thing going to be it's much more of an issue than somebody like me or even Charles thinks it ought to be, but...
Yeah, I think it plays at the basis. I mean, evangelical Christians who are very concerned about it and for moral reasons will be energized, and those votes will go to the president. Gay and lesbian Americans who are for it will most likely be much more energized for John Kerry and for the Democratic candidate. And how the middle American voter, again, these 18 states where there's only about 10 to 12% undecided, my gut tells me, based on the data I've seen and the interviewing I've done, that they're much more concerned about the economy and jobs and Iraq than they are about the gay marriage. But all you have to do is change 1 or 2% on either side, and you can really tip the outcome of this election. You know, if you look at these states, these 18 states I'm talking about, they're all within. They all go either way of 4 or 5 percentage points. And I know what the White House is most concerned about is if you start overlaying the unemployment statistics. For example, you take Ohio. George Bush won that state by 116,000 votes in 2000. They've lost 272,000 jobs. And you can do that for each of those battleground states, and it obviously creates a little bit of a angina within the Republican Party because they realize they have to convince those people that things are getting better with the economy, even though they haven't seen it in their respective state.
Are you on vacation?
In 4 days, yep. But I always take time out to call in, Don. When you know, what least I can do, huh?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I didn't understand. I mean, you're on vacation for 4 more days, or?
No, I'm done Thursday. I come home Thursday.
Okay, so you'll be on Meet the Press Sunday?
Yeah, I won't miss.
Who's going to be on with you?
In fact, the liberal lion from Massachusetts, Edward M. Kennedy, is going to be one of our guests on Meet the Press.
That's early Sunday morning?
Thank you. You know, he has, his first appearance was 1964. He has been on over a 40-year span, which is really incredible when you think about the influence of that family on American politics. No matter what you think of their political ideology or philosophy, the Kennedys have been a real force in American politics and look like will be some for some time.
Well, tell him I said hi, and tell him that Esther Newberg says hi as well, will you?
I'll do it all.
No, you're such an idiot.
and mum's the word.
That's,
hey,
you know, that's the kind of guy you are, and that's happy St. Patrick's Day. Always a good word for everybody.
Thank you very much for taking the time to do this, Tim. I appreciate it.
See you, Don. Bye.
The
Bye,
great
George.
Tim Russell here in the Imus program, and Doris Spencer. I guess probably I should. Any of you know who Esther Newberg is?
Why don't you explain it?
I think I will. She was one of the 7 women who was on Chappaquiddick when, unfortunately, Mary Jo Kopechne was. And we suspect that she knows more than she's ever said, but...
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Teddy.
Well, I wanted to explain what the reference was. You know?
She was somebody he wouldn't give a ride to. She didn't rate.
It's 9 minutes now to that.
Imus in the morning.
Anyway, at Friendly Motor Cars, by the way, from Wappinger Falls, and Mercedes-Benz and Danbury, they're 2 of the premier Mercedes-Benz dealers in the country. They have 11,000 active clients between both locations. I don't know. They offer loyal service. Mike Ostros, with great people like John Repetto. He's the general manager there at Friendly. He's been working with Mike for over 13 years. Mike Delahanty, the parts director, he's been there since 1987. Jean Marie Lewis, she started as their receptionist in
Oh, yeah, you're
1991. She played her cards right. Now she's the sales manager.
I was going to add that in.
Bob Camaster, who was a sales manager, and now co-owns, their mics are on, Bernie. And he co-owns Mercedes-Benz of Danbury.
Oh, I know.
So, hey, Bernie, their mics are on. Anyway, great people mean great service. Friendly Motor Cars on Old Post Road in Wappinger Falls, and Mercedes-Benz of Danbury at 100 Federal Road there in Danbury, Connecticut, hence the name Mercedes-Benz of Danbury. And I can sort of figure that out. And you know, the people at Bigelow Tea make all those terrific teas, and they just came out with their new gift catalogs packed with great all-occasion gifts like the famous Bigelow Tea Chest. Y'all can choose, too, from a wonderful variety of gift baskets, teapots, other tea accessories. To get your free gift catalog, just call toll-free 1-888-BIGELOW. You can also visit Bigelow online at bigelowtea.com. The Bigelow website has a complete online gift shop, or you can get great tasting tea recipes and the latest information on the health benefits of tea. So if you're looking for an ideal gift for a client, family, or friends, don't forget to call 1-888-BIGELOW or check them out at bigelowtea.com.
In 1784, Alexander Hamilton founded the Bank of New York and shaped a nation.
I say, Mr. Jefferson, free checking is the right of every person in creation. No man or woman should ever have to pay for checking for as long as they shall live. Indeed, this truth is self-evident.
So you want me to add the right to free checking to the Constitution?
Yes, make it the 11th Amendment.
I thought we agreed 10 was a nice, even number.
We're talking free checking for life, Jefferson.
You know, I am writing this thing by hand here.
So?
I mean, my hand really hurts.
Indeed, Jefferson's hand cramped long before he could ever add the right to free checking to our nation's Constitution. But today, everyone can get free checking for life, plus $50 in cashback bonuses, only at the Bank of New York. The Bank of New York. New Yorkers. Since 1784. Purchase of first order of checks required. Cashback subject to certain time and transaction requirements. Offer valid on new balance checking accounts only. Offer ends July 2nd, 2004. Ask for details. Member
New York Sports Clubs is continuing to fight for fitness. This week, NYSC is celebrating the grand opening of 5 new sports clubs and major expansion at 20 others. This grand opening event runs from now until Monday, March 22nd. From now until Monday, you can join any New York Sports Club location for only $25. Joining is the first step, but sticking with it is what will improve your life. That becomes much easier with New York Sports Club's Express Line workout. With Express Line, you can get fit in just 22 minutes 2 or 3 times a week, and there's always a trainer there to keep you motivated. New York Sports Clubs are more convenient than ever with 88 locations in the tri-state area, including 36 in Manhattan. Isn't it time to start thinking about how you're going to look in that summer wardrobe? Visit any NYSC location today through Monday and get your summer fitness program started for only $25. NYSC has month-to-month and other flexible membership options. For the location closest to you, call 1-800-301-1231 or go to mysportsclubs.com. New York Sports Clubs. There's a million reasons to join.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by Yahoo Search. Type in the city and the word hotel, click search, and you'll see the 3 most popular hotels in the area with star ratings and price. Check it out at Yahoo Search. Street cleaning rules are suspended today citywide because of the snow. Southbound on the BQE Gowanus, expect heavy traffic from Queens Boulevard to the LIE. There's a disabled vehicle that is blocking the left lane. Originally, it was reported as an accident. It's just a stall inbound Slow Belt Parkway through the Brooklyn Bridge. Slow down in Queens at the westbound Jackie Robinson approaching the Grand Central Parkway. We do have a disabled vehicle blocking the lane. Westbound Grand Central at 94th Street, construction work has the left lane closed on a service road, real slow from LaGuardia to the Triborough. And in Nassau County, car versus pole on northbound Peninsula Boulevard at the Southern State Parkway in West Hempstead. Watch out for closures. The Imus in the morning forecast, snow ends. And I'm Tracy Burgess with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
It is 4 minutes till the hour here on the Imus Morning program on the radio and on MSNBC. Doris Kearns-Goodman and Mike Barnacle are both here with us. We just talked to Tim Russer. We're broadcasting a 96.9 FM talk from the Ritz-Carlton in Boston. So it's interesting how Russer's... Right. When I asked him if Condoleezza Rice was lying, well, that I thought she was, and whether she was telling the truth or not, he didn't.
Well, even when the sound is turned down, she's lying.
Yeah.
What can she do?
If her lips are moving,
Yeah, what can she do?
Yeah.
I mean, they got caught, the guy's in a terrible situation, the President of the United States. We all want him to succeed, obviously. But, I mean, come on. I mean, he got talked into going to war. I mean, Don Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney clearly talked him into going to war when he didn't have to go. And how do you explain that to a young man from Boston, Massachusetts, his family, or anywhere else in the country, that maybe your son or daughter would have had another years of life?
No.
I mean, a year ago today, they went to war. They didn't have to go then.
I wonder why they don't simply say, why they don't, like Bill O'Reilly, he admitted he was wrong.
You know, I think the reason why they can't, I used to talk to President Johnson about that, and at the end of his life, when he talked about knowing that maybe there had been some mistakes made in Vietnam, but he would say, how can I say that I've made a mistake when 50,000 lives have been lost? I think it's really hard. That's the situation they're in. Because right now, it's not only the lives that have been lost, it's the possibility that had we not gone to Iraq, look what could have been used for the treasure, the energy, the focus, the lives, the army, if we had gone straight after the war on terror in the other places where the terrorists are. So I think it's impossible for them now to admit a mistake. But on the other hand, they can't just go on pretending that something was said that wasn't true.
But still, he's caught in this terrible predicament. I think it's a cultural thing, and it'll evolve during the course of the campaign year. I think most people want to fight the war on terrorism. Let's go kill them before they kill us. We're not fighting the war on terrorism in Iraq.
That's right.
We're involved in a civil war.
No.
I want to go to Afghanistan and get that, you can Mel Karmazin, you can't say it anymore on the radio. I want to go and get him out of his cave and shoot him through the head. I want to get all of bin Laden's people, all the terrorists, the people around the world, kill them at their kitchen tables, kill them when they're having dinner in Rome. Wherever they exist, go find them. You're not going to do that with big unit armies. You're not going to do it.
Don't blame Mel because you can't, you swear. You use your dirty little mouth on our radio program here. We don't need that.
I know. I realize that. I apologize.
But the thing that strikes me is that even people who support the president know that it was a mistake, and so they're not fooling anybody. Even people who are going to vote for him.
Well, Doris could speak to this, I think, far better than any of us. The isolation of the White House, the isolation of the presidency. Does it happen that you're sitting there in the Oval Office and you have no clue as to what people really want to hear the president say?
Oh, you walk into a room and they play Hail to the Chief. Like when Lyndon Johnson went on a diet, suddenly cottage cheese fills the refrigerator. When he's off the diet, the Nestle's chocolate comes back. You are absolutely in a bubble. And he's surrounded by people who say we just stubborn it out. And he's a stubborn man. Stubborn strength, if you want to see that. Resoluteness, on the other hand.
No.
But I don't see them apologizing. I don't think that's ever going to happen in the course of this campaign. I think that would be the beginning of the end for him, even though it's the right human thing in a certain sense to do.
Doris Kearns-Goodwin and Mike Barnacle here on the Imus Morning Program. This is WFAN in New York and Infinity Broadcasting Radio Station, part of Viacom. Time now for a little local news. And with that, here's Charles McCoy. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, I-Man. And quickly, those on hand to celebrate the wearing of the green can also expect to see a lot of blue today. The NYPD's anti-terror unit will be out in force during today's 243rd Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. The unit actually has rooftop sharpshooters along the parade route, bomb-sniffing dogs. There's how the culture has changed, Mr. Barnacle. Bomb-sniffing dogs, sharpshooters, anti-snipers, all of that, who will try to make certain that everything goes off without a hitch. Police Commissioner Kelly wants the day to be a fun one and, as much as can be, without stress.
We ask people, particularly in the aftermath of the tragedy in Madrid, to be particularly vigilant for any unattended packages, and people who may bring alcohol or beer may realize that we're going to confiscate it. We don't want them leaving it on the street.
Officials have said they have received no word of any threat, nothing like that, targeting the parade, which begins at 11 this morning, proceeds up Fifth Avenue in Manhattan from 44th to 86th. Police officers will also be on hand to strictly enforce, we're told, the city's ban on public drunkenness. Other headlines locally, National Transportation Safety Board has released an update of its investigation into last week's train accident in Queens. Investigators say the 5 train crew members responsible for securing the locomotive that got away have been suspended with pay while the probe goes on. Preliminary findings suggesting the train's handbrake was not properly set, wheels were not blocked. It's believed an air brake that was set may have had a leak, even though the locomotive had passed an inspection just 2 days before the accident occurred. 4 people were injured, train rolled away, crashed into several cars before it finally came to a stop. Westchester County has taken steps to ban cell phones from county-owned bathrooms, changing rooms, and the like. Basically, anywhere somebody might unknowingly get undressed and be photographed by some guy with a cell phone camera. County Executive Andrew Spano says it is a preemptive strike.
What we've gotten is complaints about the possibility of that happening, because if you think about this long enough, and it won't take you long to come to the conclusion, is yeah, this can happen. And if you go on the internet, you can see indications of where that's happened.
Spano hoping that lawmakers in Albany now will take up the matter at the state level. He says technology is violating privacy, and as he said, he views this as a preemptive strike. High sports, the Knicks over the Wizards in overtime, 114-110. Nets beat the Sacramento Kings 94-77. And at the play-in game last night for the NCAA tournament, Florida A&M beat Lehigh 72-57. Details coming up with Sid, and the eye weather, cloudy, more snow likely starting early evening, mid-30s, and maybe some snow showers tomorrow as well. It is 30 degrees right now at 3 minutes after the hour.
Accountemps is the leader in specialized financial staffing with the most qualified professionals in accounting and finance. Call or visit accountemps.com today.
It's time for the Subaru all-wheel drive away. Time to get every Subaru with the traction, balance, and control of the Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system standard. It's time to get Subaru Outback models with your choice of special low-rate financing, or up to $1,500 cash back on select models. It's time to get special offers on the Subaru Forester, the vehicle that the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety calls the best small SUV we've ever tested. And it's time to make your deal on the 227 horsepower turbocharged all-wheel drive Subaru WRX. So get to the Subaru all-wheel drive away and get the deal of your choice on the Subaru of your choice, now extended through March 31st. It's time. Subaru, driven by what's inside. Financing offer subject to credit and insurance approval. Must take delivery from dealer stock by March 31st, 2004. Incentives cannot be combined. See participating dealer for details.
A few bare essentials to prepare you for the new instant game from the New York Lottery. Pandemonium. A full-grown panda weighs 350 pounds. A Pandemonium instant game ticket weighs under an ounce. A panda stands 3.5 to 5 feet tall. The Pandemonium game ticket stands a mere 6 inches. Pandas are warm and fuzzy. The Pandemonium game ticket has nary a hair, but winning can create a sudden sense of warmth and fuzziness. Pandas eat lots and lots of bamboo and love to be scratched. The Pandemonium game ticket requires no feeding, but some scratching is involved. In fact, there are 12 symbols to scratch on each game ticket, so there are 12 chances to win, and any ticket can make you a millionaire. No panda can do that. Look for the Pandemonium instant game at convenience stores, newsstands, supermarkets, gas stations, or wherever New York Lottery games are sold. Unlike pandas, they're extremely easy to get your hands on.
It's Quick Draw Madness Thursdays in March. Every winning New York Lottery Quick Draw ticket purchased between 6 and 8 p.m. Thursdays in March is worth 50% more.
5 minutes past the hour here on the Imus Morning Program on the radio and on MSNBC. We're in Boston, Massachusetts at the Ritz-Carlton. Broadcasting at 96.9 FM Talk, which is our very fine affiliate here in Boston, I'm told. So, actually, I did know that, didn't I?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Imus on the Road, sponsored by Nikon, by Bigelow Tea, tea for every taste, by Mohegan Sun, the closest casino to Manhattan, and by the new Verve pin from Cross, the official pin of the Imus in the Morning Program. Also here in Boston by SBL Life, Savings Bank Life Insurance, and of course the Ritz-Carlton. And Natalie McMaster, who will be back on again.
Great.
Who was terrific, isn't she?
Oh, my goodness. What a talent. Gee.
She has an album out, by the way.
Fabulous.
This is her first studio album in 4 years. And she has people on it like, well, I've never heard of these people. Doesn't make any difference. She's enough.
She wanted to mention their names. The gentleman working with it.
Well, the guy on piano is great. Alan Dewar.
Yeah. Right.
Like the Scotch, right? And Brad. Well, it would be a reference that I would be comfortable making.
Sure.
And Brad Davidge.
Yeah,
correct. Pretty good guitar player as well. They both are very good.
Great musicians.
Also sponsored by Edgewater Technology, Massachusetts Oil Heat Council, Helping Hands of America. Want to give me your car, your truck, your boat or something.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Mortgage and J.N. Phillips Auto Glass. Charles has some headlines, and then we'll talk with Pat O'Brien, who's going to call us from New York. He's hosting, for some reason, the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York this morning. So, on channel, is it just on Channel 4? Or?
That's correct, in New York City, NBC affiliate.
Him and the lovely Nancy O'Dell.
The host of Nashville Star, by the way.
Well, I wonder if Pat's playing a little hide the shillelagh with, perhaps? They're always together?
Well, that's disgusting. Pat's been happily married for 212 years or whatever.
Right.
Charles, give me some quick headlines.
Very
quickly.
quickly.
Mr. O'Brien.
The Columbus, Ohio man suspect in string of the highway shootings, I-270 Columbus, one of them, of course, was deadly, has been arrested early today in Las Vegas, Nevada.
He actually wasn't trying to shoot people, was he?
We don't. How do you know that? He was shooting.
Well, it's not very good. 1 out of 24.
I know, maybe he was just a lousy shot, but he was shooting at moving vehicles, all of which were occupied. Shot once at a school and what have you.
What? What do you figure? He had a thing for Toyotas rather than people?
I don't know.
Well, no, I don't. Well, no, it's not a bad idea anyway, shooting Toyotas.
But Charles A. McCoy Jr., nevertheless, is in custody.
Do we have any Toyota sponsors?
Not this morning.
Did we have any?
No.
Oh, the hell with them.
Senator Kerry coasted
sucking pieces of junk.
to an easy win in the Illinois primary. U.S. and Iraqi troops fanning out across Baghdad in a new push to find insurgents and illegal weapons in something that they're calling Operation Iron Promise. And National Security Advisor Dr. Rice will be a notable exception when officials in both the Bush and Clinton administrations provide testimony to the panel probing 9/11. New York Times reporting those scheduled to testify next Tuesday and Wednesday include Secretary of State Powell and his predecessor, Madeleine Albright.
And none of them want to testify under oath, or is that just Dr. Rice? Just want to testify?
Well, that's a good
sound
question.
Crazy?
Yeah, well, yeah, it does. Yes, it does, as a matter of fact.
I'll be happy to testify, but not under oath.
But no, it just doesn't.
Well, then why does it? Well, then why?
What's the point? Call it off.
Hey, Doris Kearns Goodwin's here, and so is Mike Barnacle, and we're going to go to Pat O'Brien in about 30 seconds. But why is this a big deal? Is Senator Kerry skipping this breakfast here in Boston this morning?
It is to me.
It is?
Sure. He should have come. Should have called in. Should have been here.
It's the one on Sunday, correct? The one in Southie?
Oh, I thought you meant this is the
Oh, no,
only
we
one.
don't care about this. No, I meant that there's something on the front page of the paper this morning. It's not a big deal, is it, Doris?
Well, it's a very traditional event where everybody gets made fun of, and obviously he's got a lot of other scheduling problems. But for me, whose father was Michael Francis Aloysius Kearns, it's a great event.
It is.
They're not serving waffles. That's the problem.
It used to be a much bigger deal.
Right.
You know, years ago, before the Irish homogenized themselves and moved to the suburbs and fell in love with lawnmowers. You know, it used to be a huge deal.
Oh, okay, so is that the fact that is it the Boston Herald that has the headline?
Yeah, it was yesterday morning, Boston Herald, the duck of the Irish, front page.
Well, he's Jewish after all. Why would he go?
That's true. He's not Irish.
Yeah.
So he's free, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
One reason. All right, here from New York, our old friend Pat O'Brien. Good morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Top of the morning to you, Don. Good to see you. By the way, some breaking news here in New York City. I'm in the getting ready to go on the Today Show, and a good friend of yours, a good friend of mine, just walked in the room and wanted to say hi. Hold on. It's Donald Trump. Hi, Don.
Hi, Donald. How are
I'm
you?
standing here with Pat. I'm going on the air in about 1 second. I said, no, I have to say hello to Don first. Can you believe this? And I'll speak to you tomorrow.
All right, Donald.
Okay, man. So long. That's some high-quality hang time right there.
That's not bad.
High quality. How are you, my friends? You got Barnacle there and Doris is there. All my good buddies are there.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Pat. Why are you hosting this parade?
Well, Pat O'Brien, we can start with Pat O'Brien for one. And I hosted it last year, and it's what I do. They asked me to do it, and I'm very honored to do it. Last night I was honored in New York as one of the top 100 Irish people in America. I didn't know there were that many, but but there I was.
Yeah, well.
In Barnacle, I've been reading a lot of Irish history, as I always do this time of year. Doris, you'll like this too. I found the best line about Irish, and here it is. The Irish have a virtuous sense of tragedy that sustains them in brief moments of happiness.
I once wrote that, Pat.
And, hey, Mike, you know what? Hey, Mike, you know what?
What?
You'll write it again.
Hey, as long as I have you on the phone, has Whitney Houston, you probably know this, has she been to rehab before, or is this her first trip?
Well, as far as we know, this is her first time in rehab. And, which, in many ways is a good thing for her. She's obviously at the point where she's bottomed out. And something you know all about, Don. And
start with me about this.
What?
Because I'll just go to T.J. Tucker's in a heartbit.
Well, no, well.
So,
No, but it's probably a good thing for her. Their lives have been in public view and in disarray for years now. And so I think a lot of her friends are saying, it's good for her that she's seeking out help. But this is their first time as far as I know.
You know, Pat, as long as you brought it up, I correct me if I'm wrong, but as I remember, I don't think I ever really drank that much, did I? Or did that much cocaine? Do you remember?
I don't remember either. And that probably means both of us did a little too much, right?
Did she go to Hazleton, did I read in the paper?
Well, there's rumors of Hazleton, there's rumors of promises, but there's a reason they call it AA. So, I mean, I think they're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah, but Hazleton would indicate which is the best rehab in the country, and their whole program. It's a hardcore program as opposed to, say, promises of some of these other she places that are co-ed and jive, you know. And
well, the way the world works now, they're all hardcore because it used to be just for alcoholics, and now it's alcoholics and addicts and that sort of thing. So most of these places pretty much address everything.
Well, always nice to talk to you.
That's it?
Yeah, but...
What do you mean?
We don't have a lot of time, Pat, and we're very gracious of you to call.
Seriously, you took up 3 minutes of my time with something else. I could have material here. I could have an entire Best of Imus show sitting here, and you're getting rid of it.
Well, we're just out of time, Pat. I mean, just...
Why do you have to decide that?
Pardon me?
Why do you decide that? Why can't the show dictate that?
Well, because I'm sort of in charge.
You think so? Let's see who's in charge.
Pat is, I would point out, Pat is he may be the single most thin-skinned person I've ever met.
Absolutely. Onion-skinned.
And obviously with an inflated sense of importance.
Tremendously. Sure.
Hosting one of 5 million entertainment shows on television, following around people like Ludacris and P. Diddy to see what they're thinking about stuff.
Correct.
And standing on a carpet outside some dopey theater when morons like Ben Affleck walk out, and well, maybe I should have picked somebody now from Boston. That was probably not a good move. 2 guys sitting in front of here are already going to beat up Bernard, by the way. Anyway, well, it's always nice to have O'Brien on. He'll never be on again. It's a quarter after the hour. We're going to talk with Chris Matthews coming up a little bit, and we'll talk more with Doris Kearns-Goodwin and Mike Barnacle also. Later on this morning, Marjorie Egan. Right after these commercials, in case you didn't hear her earlier or see her, Natalie McMaster will be back.
Great.
And she and the folks with her are terrific. So all that coming up live from Boston. We're at the Ritz-Carlton, broadcasting here locally on 96.9 FM and across the country, syndicated by Westwood One Entertainment.
When a photo from an ordinary printer gets wet, it might sound like this.
Oh, baby, I like the way you move.
Faded.
Oh, baby,
watered down.
I like the way you
and washed up. But use an Epson all-in-one, and you'll get something entirely different.
What's he talking about?
I'm talking about this.
Oh, baby, I like the way you move.
You see, with Epson's exclusive Durabright inks, you'll get pictures that resist damage from water. So even when wet, they're a hard act to follow.
I could have done that.
Right. For more information about brilliance that lasts, visit Epson.com.
See the Epson Stylus CX5400 all-in-one with our exclusive water-resistant Durabright ink starting at $129 after a $20 mail-in rebate at Circuit City. We're with you.
Imus!
Let me talk to you now about probably Bigelow tea. Well, you know, for years, tea drinkers have enjoyed great tasting classic teas from Bigelow, like Constant Comment, Earl Grey, and green tea. The Bigelow family also committed to developing new flavors for today's contemporary taste, but it's not easy developing new teas at Bigelow. That's because the Bigelows won't introduce a new tea until they're completely satisfied with the taste. So sometimes they'll work on a new tea for years until they feel like they have it right, you know. And they've hit a home run now with their new variety of vanilla teas. 6 new vanilla teas, including favorites like I have French vanilla, vanilla caramel, vanilla hazelnut. So you go to the grocer and tell them you want some Bigelow tea. So teas for every taste. And don't forget old Ruth. She was back there in the kitchen 60 years ago, fired up some, probably about knee deep into sherry, working on some tea, and came up with this Casa Comment, which is probably the world's best-selling tea. Fabulous stuff. Bigelow tea. Check it out. It's your sealed in those Stay Fresh foil packets, which is why it's better than all these other teas. You can find it at any supermarket on the planet. If not, tell the store manager, hey, look, come on, to the program here. You go to their website at bigelowtea.com, see what's going on there. Life rarely works like a reality TV show where high-profile apprentices and business tycoons collide. For most organizations, true hiring success is what happens when they connect with the workplace experts at Furion. For more than 55 years, Furion has been helping businesses find and hire skilled professionals and accomplished employees who drive profitability and innovation. With a network of recruiting and staffing offices nationwide, Furion knows how to successfully tap into today's talent market to deliver the right candidates for the right skills. Furion's way of ensuring the words "you're fired" stay on television and out of your boardroom. To learn more about Furion staffing, recruiting, and workforce solutions, check it out at Furion.com. That's SPHERION.com. Call 866-966-9610 to connect to your local Furion office, or go to their website, SPHERION.com. It's coming up on 20 minutes now after the hour.
New York Sports Clubs is continuing the fight for fitness. This week, NYSC is celebrating the grand opening of 5 new sports clubs and major expansion at 20 others. This grand opening event runs from now until Monday, March 22nd. From now until Monday, you can join any New York Sports Club location for only $25. Joining is the first step, but sticking with it is what will improve your life. That becomes much easier with New York Sports Club's Express Line workout. With Express Line, you can get fit in just 22 minutes 2 or 3 times a week, and there's always a trainer there to keep you motivated. New York Sports Clubs are more convenient than ever with 88 locations in the tri-state area, including 36 in Manhattan. Isn't it time to start thinking about how you're going to look in that summer wardrobe? Visit any NYSC location today through Monday and get your summer fitness program started for only $25. NYSC has month-to-month and other flexible membership options. For the location closest to you, call 1-800-301-1231 or go to mysportsclubs.com. New York Sports Clubs. There's a million reasons to join.
It is 21 minutes after the hour here on the Imus the Morning program. Are we back, Lou?
We're back.
Okay. On the radio and on MSNBC, we're talking with Doris Kearns-Goodwin and Mike Barnacle and Chris Matthews coming up here in just a little bit. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to hear from Natalie McMaster again. You know, somebody handed me a letter here that I showed Charles. It's from a kid who goes to Boston College High School. His name is Jonathan Reed. 24 after the hour, please welcome once again Natalie McMaster.
Yes.
That's the guy, Natalie McMaster. There's an album out called Natalie McMaster Blueprint, which I'm imagining by most anywhere. God, they are terrific. I also wanted to mention, I forgot to mention earlier on, the problem is we have too many commercials, and too many guests, and not enough time. And now I'm irritated at that bald-headed, washed-up loser, Pat O'Brien, thin-skinned weasel. You know, here's what he doesn't understand is we only put him on just because, you know, he has something to offer to add. Other than, you know, what do you think of Whitney Houston going to rehab? I mean, you have to stretch to figure out something to talk to him about. He's just an annoying bastard.
No, wait, he was just kidding. That was his shtick.
Sure. Anyway, I got a nice letter from, I don't know how to pronounce this name. How the hell do you pronounce that name? Some Irish. C.A. Smith. C.A.
I guess Cahir.
Cahir, C-A-H-I-R. And Sandy,
McCool?
I don't know.
Yeah.
McCool, two people who are here, who gave me a check for the ranch, and they wanted me to say hi to their kid who's going to school, but he's already gone. I was supposed to do this between 7:30 and 7:55 Eastern time.
Too bad.
And that didn't happen.
No, idiot.
I tell him I try not to worry about it. Time life's full of disappointments, and this is another one.
And it will not be the last. No.
No, that's just one more.
Yeah. Just get used to it.
What will be a lifelong series of one disappointment after another.
It's filled with bitterness and regret.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 30 minutes after the hour. We're talking with Chris Matthews coming up.
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Imus in the morning.
Oh, the things you could think about if you were driving a Volvo S60. You could, for example, think about using the available turbocharged engine to rocket past other sports sedans. You could think about turning corners with its sport-tuned suspension, or turning heads with its sleek, sculpted design. And think about driving in the driving rain. With available all-wheel drive, you wouldn't even have to think twice. There's probably nothing you can think about that Volvo engineers haven't thought about already. Because at Volvo, you think and then you build. The S60 Sports Sedan. Performance when you want it. A Volvo when you need it. See your Volvo retailer for a test drive.
Lease a new 2004 Volvo S60 2.5T all-wheel drive for $344 a month for 42 months. Total amount due at signing $3,809. $3,909 in New York. Payments will be higher for residents of Connecticut. Taxes, title, and registration fees extra. Visit your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Volvo retailer or call 877-24-VOLVO for details.
Oh, friends of Steve. It's me, Steve Areno, on the radio. I just want to remind all my friends and family members, as well as colleagues at work, who may not know that I have a big birthday coming up. Listen, I don't want you guys to worry about what to get me, okay? That's why I'm here on the radio. I'm finally going to get rid of my prehistoric dial-up service and get myself Optimum Online. It's only $29.95 a month for the first 6 months if I install it myself. But since Optimum Online is the fastest internet access for the home, that means I could download music onto an MP3 player, hint, hint, up to 100 times faster than my dial-up. It can also handle digital photos up to 100 times faster, if I had a digital camera. So just remember, Steve, important birthday, Optimum Online, up to 100 times faster. Needs MP3 player and digital camera, thanks.
Call 1-888-4-OPTIMUM to sign up. Or if you're a Cablevision customer, sign up online at OptimumOnline.com before March 31st, 2004, and receive a free digital camera. Some restrictions apply. See website for details. Optimum Online not available in all areas.
You go to B&H for their service.
No, you go to B&H for their selection.
Service.
Selection.
Gentlemen, there's no need to argue. It's true that B&H gives great service to their customers.
Service.
It's also true that B&H carries the best selection of cameras, camcorders, and pro audio equipment anywhere.
See? Selection.
B&H Photo and Video is New York's ultimate camera store. At B&H, you'll find the latest cameras, camcorders, binoculars, and telescopes. Not to mention the most knowledgeable and helpful sales staff in New York.
Service. Selection.
Excuse me, but did you forget about the terrific low prices at B&H?
Oh, great. Another opinion.
B&H Photo and Video, located at 34th Street and 9th Avenue. Open every day but Saturday. Free parking available. Click on to bhphoto.com.
For service.
For selection.
And especially for their low prices, you go to B&H.
All right, check this out. This ain't about some extra buttons, people. This about serious CD sound systems. 16-valve engines, road-tuned suspensions, the open lane.
Ain't power sexy. The 2004 Grand Am SE. That's fuel for the soul.
Get to your Pontiac dealer today, and you can leave your checkbook at home. Because when you use Smart Buy financing, qualified buyers can get a 2004 Grand Am SE with optional solid value package and a rear spoiler for around $161 a month for 47 months with no down payment. Just sign and drive. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra. $82.55 48th month payment. 3.5% APR. Includes bonus cash. Your payments may vary. Call 1-800-2-PONTIAC for details. Power is sexy. Prove it to yourself with a Grand Am test drive today at your local Pontiac dealer.
33 minutes after the hour now, this Imus in the Morning from Boston, and these are a few of the headline stories that we've been following and will continue to follow through the day for you. First of all, this guy Charles A. McCoy Jr. is in custody now. Authorities in Las Vegas arrested the Ohio sniper suspect, the shooting suspect, without incident in Las Vegas. Police say a person who recognized McCoy from media reports tipped them to his location at some small budget hotel just about a block off the Vegas Strip, and they got him. Of course, he is the suspect in this string of some 24 highway shootings, one of which was a fatality. If Marcus Wesson is convicted of killing 9 family members in Fresno, California, he could face the death penalty. Formal charges against Wesson will be read at his arraignment today. And prosecutors in Virginia bringing forth new charges against convicted D.C. area sniper Lee Boyd Malvo, identifying him in this new set of charges as an adult, which means that if convicted, Malvo could get the death penalty.
It is 35 minutes past the hour here in the Imus Morning Program, and we're in Boston, Massachusetts at the Ritz-Carlton for our very fine affiliate, 96.9 FM Talk, and on 100 other radio stations around the country, and also simulcast on the rapidly improving MSNBC under the brilliant guidance of our old friend Rick Kaplan.
Yes, our old friend Rick Kaplan.
This is a pretty good story, you guys. Written by Bill Hoffman, and it appeared in the New York Post.
Yeah.
A delusional man who apparently believed he was Jesus Christ. This is really good. Built a wooden cross and tried to nail his hands to it in an effort to recreate the crucifixion. Here comes the good part. But after hammering a spike through one palm, he realized there was no way to hammer the other. Oh, man, I love this. Well, so I didn't think that through very clearly. Now what? So he dragged himself to a phone and he called 911 and
should have called a carpenter.
Now, this is just not working out. All right, please welcome now to the Imus Morning Program from MSNBC and NBC, Chris Matthews. Good morning, Mr. Matthews.
Good morning, Don.
What's the over-under before this guy shows up on Scarborough's show?
He sounds like a good guess to me.
Or Deborah Norville will be, peering at him across that desk, trying to find out. Who knows? Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Don.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. So,
my parents get married on this day, 1942.
Well, which puts to rest a lot of those rumors. All these people.
Well, in the old days, you had to get married on St. Patrick's Day because it's the only way you got a day of forgiveness on Lent. You got a day off. You could actually have a drink and you actually have a good meal and everything.
Oh, okay.
Those are the old days, Don.
So, what's on your mind this morning?
Well, I've been trying to figure out this election. I think it's, the short run, and right now it's been probably Kerry's worst week. And that was before you heard the applause this morning on your show. Well, and that was pretty dim. I think we got a lot of Ed King Democrats there that don't like liberals. Anyway, I think Kerry's having a tough week. I think that's voting against the Reconstruction effort and voting against the body armor for the troops as part of the $87 billion package, then being caught on tape saying, well, I did vote for it once, but then I voted for it on final passage. He sounds like a dunce. Bad week for him.
But it's 8 months before the election, as you keep pointing out, so are people going to remember, or I guess Bush and his That crowd will remind everybody, huh?
Well, they got so much money done. They got like almost $200 million. So what they're going to do is they're going to run these ads against them. They're going to test and see which points work. And then, in other words, they're going to fire for range and then for effect. And then they're going to spend another $100 million pounding home the message they find out works. So the bad thing for Kerry is if any of this works, if it starts to take him apart, these questions about his support for security of our troops, they just keep running that ad till August. And they can kill him with it because they got so much money. The good news for Kerry is that if you look at every presidential election going back to Hoover, they're never close. No re-election campaign's ever close for a president. If he's been elected and he goes for a second term, it's never close. It's either in or out. And so people make a big decision about whether they like the president or not, if he's taking us in the right direction. So the big question come this November is not Kerry. The big question is Bush. And all the attacks they make on Kerry don't make much difference because in the end, there's only one question. We're the manager in the dugout. We look at the pitcher. He's the president. If he's not getting them out, we yank him. We never say, how's the guy throwing in the bullpen? And so the question is always, is the president taking us in the right direction? And if he's not, we put in the other guy. And that's how we decided. So it doesn't matter what we're doing right now, what they're doing right now against Kerry, because come November, the choice is Bush or no Bush.
What was the story in Time magazine about Laura Bush and the president's mother, Barbara Bush, being...
It's a big question. You know, I'm looking at the effectiveness of the ad campaign. They're great ads. This guy Mark McKinnon's putting on here. The new one's really good. And I'm looking at their research and the way they're using the vice president, the president to go out there and give these speeches. Today, the vice president's going to be at the Reagan Library. It's almost like the spiritual home of the Republican Party now. And he's going to be blasting Kerry personally, starting at 1:30 Eastern. He's going to just kill him. So I think that they got the thing, well, what wasn't worked out is the White House press operation. It's just not that good an operation. I don't think they've handled the president well. I think they've not handled the press well. They're not very popular. They're kind of nasty. And I just don't sense that there's an equality here. But what is good is the professional operation over at the headquarters. They're doing well. So the First Lady's worried about, and the former First Lady's worried about, because they sold George Bush. And let's face it, once you've been evicted from the White House, like Barbara Bush was, evicted, told, get your furniture out of here and don't come back. Take everything you own and be out of here by the 20th of January. Once you had that done to you, you got a little sense of instinct about it happening again. And I think Barbara and Laura, according to this report, it makes sense to me, are wary of the operation trying to keep George W. in the White House. They don't think it's working.
Well, what do they think should happen?
Well, probably they'd like to get a better press. You know, he doesn't get that good a press, this guy. He hasn't done very well in the world press. He gets lousy press. You don't need John Kerry to come home and report on the fact that nobody likes the president's policies overseas. We had Joe Biden on last night saying nobody agrees with his overseas at all except maybe Israel, Italy, and England. Maybe, he said England, maybe. So we're not, nothing that Bush is doing is working. He's not a world leader. He's not popular in the world. So maybe there's somebody in the White House is thinking, hey, how come everybody's out of step with Johnny? Maybe somebody's thinking that.
Well, of course, he didn't help himself either. It almost started with going on to meet the press with Tim Russert. That was...
Well, you know, you agree with me on that, and I don't understand why he went down and got in the pit with Tim. I don't know why he's out here in the mosh pit so early with Kerry. I mean, he is scoring on a couple of these points. Kerry embarrassed himself saying, I talk personally to foreign leaders, because that sounds kind of sneaky. Americans don't like the idea that their politicians are going overseas and sitting and chatting over drinks and dumping on their president. So I don't think that looks good for him. I think Cheney had a good point when he said, well, what did he say before the foreign leader said he didn't like Bush? Was he sort of warming him up for that one? Because most foreign leaders are very careful about what they say to visiting American politicians. And, of course, the White House is still trying to find any evidence that Kerry ever met anybody lately who could call himself a world leader.
Yeah, but according to this reporter for the Boston Globe, Senator Kerry didn't say foreign leaders. He said...
No, he was talking about foreign countries and their leaders, though. The context was pretty damn clear.
It was?
He said more leaders, not foreign leaders. The word was mistranscribed from the tape the reporter pointed out. He made a mistake in his transcription, but the fact is the context is clear. He's not talking about American leaders.
Pretty funny editorial, maybe no, it's not an editorial cartoon. It's just on page 6 of the New York Post identifying these foreign leaders who support Senator Kerry, and among them, of course, I think Yasser Arafat,
Osama bin Laden,
Kim Il-sung, and the guy from Korea, North
Well,
Korea.
the sad thing is that this administration's policy is so unpopular that Bush probably would lose a few of these up or downs with Bin Laden in some of these countries. So, I mean, they're trouble with this Iraq thing is we've invaded an Arab country, we've taken ourselves into Arabia, and they're xenophobic as hell over there. They don't want any Westerners in there. They don't want the UN in there. They don't want the European Union in there. They certainly don't want us in there. They don't want Israel in there. They don't want anybody they consider an outsider in the region of the world. And here we are in the region of the world. So what does Al-Qaeda do? Says, oh, we're the world's champion of Iraqi resistance. Now we're going to join. We never were anything that had anything to do with Iraq before, but now we're going to become their worldwide champions. We're going to blow up subways in Spain. Anything we can do to stop the Iraqi occupation. Well, we've given, this country's given them a huge opportunity to become the good guys in the Middle East.
I haven't heard anything about Ralph Nader. What's he doing?
Well, he polled a 7 in the CBS poll yesterday, which has got to be driving the Kerry people nuts. Because one thing that destroyed Al Gore, besides Al Gore, was Ralph Nader. Because Nader was polling a 9 when Gore was coming out of the Democratic Convention. So what Gore had to do was move left, attack corporations, all this populist, hysteric stuff, negative stuff, pessimistic stuff, in order to grab that left back. So he knocked Nader down to 3 from 9. From August to November, but the problem is by knocking Nader down and poaching those left-wing votes, he had to move left, and in moving left, I think he really exposed himself in the center, and I think that hurt him in that very close election.
Talking with Chris Matthews here in the Imus program. Hardball airs on MSNBC every night, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Then they repeat it. I actually saw it at, I think, 4 o'clock this morning. And then he has a Sunday show that's on various times on the NBC television network, the big boy television network. And speaking of NBC News, Lisa Myers had a story last night about this CIA tape that had Osama bin Laden, apparently, or someone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or someone, on video in Afghanistan almost a year before September 11th.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw the pictures, and it's just incredible what we can do with satellite photography, or rather with that glider, that unmanned ship, or whatever the hell it was, that sleuthing.
Drone, or what they call it, drones?
The drone, or whatever the hell it was. And I got to tell you that it looked pretty convincing to me that the guy in the long white robes, he's 6'8"? It was him. Yeah. And I think the question is, should we have nailed him? Remember that movie Patriot Games, when they did one of those things, they went in from satellite pictures and they killed a bunch of Palestinian guys?
No, I don't.
It was just like this. It reminded me so much of that. So we obviously have the capability to do it. And, of course, I guess this is a knock at Clinton for not having done it.
I didn't see the movie. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I'm talking about when we go to these camps and we get them under surveillance from above. You can actually see people walking around. It's that good, the photography.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, now I understand. So, in fact,
but of course now the guy's riding around on a donkey doing dialysis at the same time, so that may be easier to spot. I think he should be easier to catch now than then. I mean, how many dialysis machines are there on the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan and the mountains? And he's on a donkey. I don't know why we can't find him. Although there is a theory, which I don't buy, that we're keeping him in close contact till around October 15th.
Right.
That was too cute.
When Tom Brokaw was on your program, apparently, Bernard tells me he had part of these Nixon tapes, which it's just almost like Beatle albums. They just keep putting another one out. It's ridiculous.
They just keep giving.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every once in a while they find a new record that Elvis made, that nobody ever knew about. But now we have apparently.
Yeah, there was it was on Brokaw's show. It was a Brian Williams report, which was basically, I think the producer was Annie Franklin. They went back and they dug up Nixon basically targeting Kerry back in 1971. Yeah, so this is the guy we got to get. They came up with this other guy named O'Neill. He did have an Irish name too, and they put him up against him and said, "Here's a stand-up soldier, a Vietnam veteran who's willing to support the administration." So they put this whole campaign together to try to discredit John Kerry back then. This is 33 years ago.
Bernard just handed me a copy of the current issue of the National Review, which has a picture of Senator Kerry testifying when he was. This was apparently before he threw his ribbons away because he was on here. So. Testifying about these atrocities, American soldiers cutting people's ears off and their heads, and well, we don't need to go.
That's where Nixon nailed him. Nixon said there was no evidence of that, and Kerry, the other GI they got, the veteran O'Neill, and he said there's no evidence of us committing atrocities like that. Every soldier's not guilty of that. Kerry made a pretty strong statement that said all American GIs were involved in that kind of stuff. That could hurt him too.
I apologize for getting to you late, but one of the problems we have on this program is they sell as many commercials as they possibly can. And so we have to run them, but it was very gracious of you to hang on.
Hey, thanks, Don.
And
As always.
to appear. Who's on hardball tonight?
We might be able to gin up a decent battle tonight. We got Richard Pearl coming on, one of the godfather of the war with Iraq, and Richard Holbrooke, the Democrat, who I think would like to be Secretary of State under any Democratic administration. And we're going to try to get him to go head-to-head. We also got David Schuster down in spring break week down in Florida to talk to the kids about what they think's going on in the election. And we got an inside look at how you put these commercials together. They're so good, especially the Republican commercials and also the Democrat ones. We're going to be interviewing a bunch of the guys who put them together and talk about how they theorize and how they put them together.
Here's a trivia question for you.
All right.
Which anchor man was Richard Holbrooke's wife married to before she was married to him?
Peter Jennings.
Very good. Well, so you went a Pat O'Brien doll. All right, Chris, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Don.
Chris Matthews here on the Imus Morning program, so I like it, man.
Yes, very much. I'm a Matthews fan.
I seem to remember there was some, I don't know why I remember these things, but wasn't there some, well, she was fooling around with Holbrooke. Well, that was Peter Jennings' ex-wife. Well, no, there was some weird deal going on.
Yes, there was, and I can't recall the details, and it's probably better on this joyous occasion that we don't.
There's a whole thing going on, like Richard Cohen from the Washington Post. He was doing something, and then the guy, one of the Watergate guys, Bernstein, he was fooling around with somebody.
Something.
He was married to Nora Ephron.
Something was strange.
But then he was getting on with some ambassador's wife.
We'd have to Google it.
I mean, they're all there. You take the lid off that what's going on there, and
to see the
cauldron. It's just like a bunch of worms just all crawling around, licking on each other, whatever they do.
What's true? A licking worm knot. That's exactly what it is.
Anyway, it's 10 minutes now until the hour. We'll talk more with Doris Kearns-Goodwin, and then coming up in the next hour, Marjorie Egan from the Boston Herald, and from our very fine affiliate, 96.9 FM Talk will be on.
Okay.
Lexus of Westport, the #1 volume certified pre-owned dealer in Connecticut, is at their selection at two locations in Westport and Fairfield. Their competitive pricing or the way they do business. It's all of the above, by the way. And it holds true for new Lexus customers as well, especially right now with the Lexus of Westport ES300 sales event. There's never been a more perfect time to enjoy all the benefits of a brand new ES300 from Lexus of Westport. A fantastic erection awaits you, with prices starting at a mere $32,350. You heard right, $32,350 for a brand new Lexus ES300.
God almighty.
And with that, you get Lexus of Westport's signature customer services.
You're an idiot.
Like complimentary Lexus loaner car with a service pickup and delivery with service and more. It's just a great deal. You just have to take advantage of it. Lexus of Westport.
Life was so busy. Fixing up the house, helping the kids with school. Tom was feeling that something was wrong. But we never expected the doctor to say it was a brain tumor.
If you or someone you love is diagnosed with a brain tumor, come to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center first. The cancer experts at Sloan Kettering are leading the way in finding new methods to accurately diagnose and effectively treat brain tumors. Sloan Kettering's team of more than 20 brain tumor specialists offers the most advanced proven therapies. This team is recognized as one of the very best in the world. So if the diagnosis is cancer, come to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center first. 1-800-525-2225 or visit mskfirst.org. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, the best cancer care anywhere.
When a photo from an ordinary printer gets wet, it might sound like this.
Oh, baby, I like the way you move.
Faded.
Oh, baby,
watered down.
I like the way you
and washed up. But use an Epsom Epson All-in-One, and you'll get something entirely different.
What's he talking about?
I'm talking about this.
Oh, baby, baby, I like the way you move.
You see, with Epson's exclusive Durabright inks, you'll get pictures that resist damage from water. So even when wet, they're a hard act to follow.
I could have done that.
Right. For more information about brilliance that lasts, visit Epson.com.
See the Epson Stylus CX5400 and 6400 all-in-ones with our exclusive water-resistant Durabright ink starting at $129 after a $20 mail-in rebate at a Gateway store near you.
Hey, go shoot that.
New York versus Boston. The rivalry has never been hotter. Now, the rivalry can be settled on the court in the first annual Basketball City 3-on-3 March to the Championship Tournament. 32 teams from New York and 32 teams from Boston will participate, culminating with 4 teams playing for the title at Mohegan Sun. Register your team today at basketballcity.com, and we'll see you tomorrow in the Remy Lounge at the 4040 Club for the Bud Light March to the Championship Selection Show. Entry fee is $250 per team. Proceeds go to the Boomer Esiason Foundation for Cystic Fibrosis and the Joey Fund. Players must be 23 or older to enter the first annual Basketball City 3-on-3 March to the Championship Tournament. It's all from Bud Light, Mohegan Sun, Orbitz, and us. We're the Fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
March Madness gets underway tomorrow and Friday at 11 a.m. with Mike and the Mad Dog previewing all the action. Then the boys are back at 1 p.m. to cover first-round action from the regional sites around the country. For the most complete coverage of the NCAA tournament and your home for the Final Four and championship games. Keep it here on your flagship station for March Madness, The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Will today be the day it all begins? The day you wake up before the alarm goes off?
The day your power tie comes out.
The day you walk to work for the first time? Will it be the day you feel stronger, needed, part of something big? Will today be the day SVP gets tacked on to the end of your name? Will it be the day you get home before the kids are in bed? Today be the
Arrive
day...
first on the job site.
The day you bring your dog to work?
See the new guy come into his own.
Will it be the day you hire the night manager of your dreams?
The day you get your very first business card.
Will it be the day you thought about since you were 12?
12. The day it all begins.
Will today be the day they say you're hired? Monster. Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Don't wait for tomorrow's newspaper. Put Monster's quality to work today. Monster has thousands of jobs in the New York area, and it's fast and easy to connect local job seekers with the right local jobs. Visit monster.com or call 1-888-MONSTER. Monster. Today's the day.
Why is the trail-rated badge on every new Jeep 4x4 so small when what it represents is such a big deal? After all, Jeep vehicles have to endure some incredibly rigorous tests to become trail-rated. Tests for ground clearance, maneuverability, traction, articulation, and water fording. It's intense, and the tests are performed by an independent third party, so there are no shortcuts and no special favors. The tests are based on actual processes used by the Marine Corps and Border Patrol. That makes the trail-rated badge on every Jeep 4x4 equivalent to an automotive Medal of Honor. So why didn't we make it bigger? Because although we realize that we definitely have bragging rights, we didn't want to rub it in. Drive a trail-rated Jeep 4x4 at your Jeep dealer today. If it's not trail-rated, it's not a Jeep 4x4. Jeep is a registered trademark of Daimler Chrysler.
This is Kenny Albert. It's hockey and hoops tomorrow night as the Rangers meet the Washington Capitals at 6:35, followed by NCAA opening round action coming up right after hockey. All here on your flagship station for New York sports and March Madness, The Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Come and listen to a story about a man named Ted. Fun-loving accountant, nearly everybody said. Then one day when he was shopping for some food, he picked the winning numbers to the envy of his hood. Moolah, that is. New York tea. Well, the next thing you know, Ted's a multi-millionaire. In-law said, let's move away from here. Said that the South Fork is the place we ought to stay, so they bought a brand new Beamer and they moved to Montauk Bay. Movie stars, swimming pools, bling bling. Now old Ted's on the beach all day, working on his golf swing, even wrote a play. Now he's got time to take a class in pottery, and he owes it all to the New York Lottery. New York Lotto. New York's Mega Millions. It can happen, you hear?
On March 22nd, the New York Lottery results number 976-2020 and area codes 212-718-347 and 516 will cost 89 cents per minute due to higher costs. New Yorkers are tough customers. If there's a way to save a buck, we'll find it. Now there's a great way to shop around for your gas and electric, too. Call 800-33-SWITCH or click on PowerYourWay.com. There are plenty of gas and electric suppliers out there who want your business, and you've got the power to join thousands of smart New Yorkers who've already switched. Call 800-33-SWITCH or click on PowerYourWay.com. The switch is on.
When it comes to buying just about anything in New York, you've got the power to choose. And now that's true for your gas and electric, too. Lots of companies supplying New York City and Westchester would love to have your business. Find the one that's right for you. Join thousands of smart New Yorkers who switch gas and electric suppliers. Call 800-33-SWITCH or click on PowerYourWay.com. That's 800-33-SWITCH or click on PowerYourWay.com. The switch is on.
This is WFAN in New York and Infinity Broadcasting Radio Station, part of the Viacom deal. Time for the local news now, and here with that is Charles McCord. Good morning, Chuck.
Hi, man. Organizers say the St. Patrick's Day Parade up Fifth Avenue go on as scheduled, even though there are some piles of snow lining parts of the parade route along Fifth. Manhattan averaged at about 3.5 inches or so of snow yesterday. Some suburbs west and north up to 8 inches and better. Police Commissioner Kelly says the day will be a safe one. He says the parade will be a test, though, for the New York Police Department's new security training, and the NYPD will, of course, be looking to protect anybody and everybody attending.
We cover certain observation posts. We have certain pieces of equipment that are close by in the event of an incident taking place. We have certain detection equipment that we deploy.
243rd St. Patrick's Day Parade, the oldest one in the nation, steps off at 11 this morning, a couple of hours from now, and Governor Pataki and Mayor Bloomberg among the many dignitaries who are planning to be in the line of march. The salt and the snow contributed to a series of manhole fires in Manhattan last night because the stuff has a corrosive effect on cables and shielding and so on.
Senator Clinton going to waddle up Fifth Avenue there?
Probably. Probably. I imagine. Yeah.
Those exercises she's gotten in. Well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She may have to have oxygen attending her at certain spots along the march, but she'll be there. The blazes in some cases blew off manhole covers. At least 60 firefighters had to be called in to fight it. One fireman injured while evacuating the residents of a nearby building.
When the units were checking the basement area where the electrical service came in, as they got down to the basement, there was an explosion around the electrical panel box. With the explosion and stuff, the firemen got knocked to the ground.
Firefighters' injuries were not described as serious, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Go ahead.
I just had a...
What?
Well, they just had a shot of this guy. This guy had been shooting these cars and people in Ohio.
Yes.
They just had a shot of his family, all three of them sitting on a couch.
Yep.
They each weigh about 400 pounds.
Well,
it looks like a promo for the Jerry Springer show.
What was the guy? He shot 1 out of 24, right? That ends one argument. LeBron James is still the best shooter in Ohio.
They've been waiting all morning to use that line.
and you heard the groans from the very observant people here.
That is just, I mean, you can't possibly be Jewish. You can't possibly be. Because you're just too incredibly stupid. Alarmingly stupid.
He took a shot.
I don't mind.
See what I did?
Although Mel Brooks thinks he's funny, so.
True.
Anyway, what else, Chuck?
That's about it, I-Man, locally. So, let's see, the next one yesterday, Nets, both winners. And there could be some more snow starting early evening, mid-30s today, few snow showers in overnight, possibility of morning snow showers tomorrow, and Friday, some snow likely as well. The high throughout that period in the mid to upper 30s, and it is 30 degrees right now at 3 minutes past the hour.
Accountemps is the leader in specialized financial staffing with the most qualified professionals in accounting and finance. Call or visit accountemps.com today.
This is a healthcare update from Hackensack University Medical Center.
The Cancer Center at Hackensack University Medical Center says that it offers tomorrow's breakthroughs today. My guest is Dr. Andrew Pecora, the chairman and director of the center. Doctor, what exactly does that mean?
Patients with cancer have promise for improved outcomes now because there are over 300 drugs and other types of agents in development that these patients have access to through clinical trials. At the Cancer Center at Hackensack University Medical Center, our 13 disease-specific divisions offer access to these novel agents for patients with cancer.
If you want more information about the Cancer Center at Hackensack University Medical Center, call 201-996-5900. That's 201-996-5900. Hackensack University Medical Center, winner of the Governor's Gold Award for Performance Excellence.
A few bare essentials to prepare you for the new instant game from the New York Lottery. Pandemonium. A full-grown panda weighs 350 pounds. A Pandemonium instant game ticket weighs under an ounce. A panda stands 3.5 to 5 feet tall. The Pandemonium game ticket stands a mere 6 inches. Pandas are warm and fuzzy. The Pandemonium game ticket has nary a hair, but winning can create a sudden sense of warmth and fuzziness. Pandas eat lots and lots of bamboo and love to be scratched. The Pandemonium game ticket requires no feeding, but some scratching is involved. In fact, there are 12 symbols to scratch on each game ticket, so there are 12 chances to win, and any ticket can make you a millionaire. No panda can do that. Look for the Pandemonium instant game at convenience stores, newsstands, supermarkets, gas stations, or wherever New York Lottery games are sold. Unlike pandas, they're extremely easy to get your hands on.
That's
Quick Draw Madness, Thursdays in March. Every winning New York Lottery Quick Draw ticket purchased between 6 and 8 p.m. Thursdays in March is worth 50% more.
5 minutes past the hour, here the Imus Morning Program on the radio all over the country. On MSNBC, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Imus on the road, live from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Boston, Massachusetts. On 96.9 FM Talk here in Boston. Is sponsored by Nikon, by Bigelow Tea, Tea for Every Taste, by Mohegan Sun, the casino in Uncasville, Connecticut, and by world-class, well, it's a I guess it is, yeah. It's certainly a destination resort now, 125-acre compound, which is about the size of Camp David. I don't know what that means, but other than that, two pieces of land that contain about the same acreage. I guess that's it. And by the new Verve pen from Cross, the official pen of the Imus in the Morning program, and locally here in Boston by SBLI, Savings Bank Life Insurance, and of course by the Ritz-Carlton, which is a gorgeous hotel right here in the Boston Common, and it really is a nice place. Also by Edgewater Technology, Massachusetts Oil Heat Council, Helping Hands of America, Drew Mortgage, J.N. Phillips Auto Glass, also Castle Graphics. They design large format digital graphics and stuff, and they did all the signs for this event. Did you know that, Charles?
Did not.
By Scepter Tours, it's Ireland's largest tour and travel agency. By Rounder Records, they represent Natalie McMaster, and she and her group have been terrific.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Except one complaint. What? She's way overdressed.
Oh, shut up.
Could you imagine her dancing like that with a nice little black cocktail dress on and the fiddle? I mean, come on, that's high entertainment.
Move forward, Ida.
Well, I'm just stunned at both Bernard and Sid. It's just
the level of discourse.
How repugnant they are. By Relax the Back, by Dave L. Limo, and by Hurley's Irish Soda Bread. All those folks. Pretty nice of them.
You bet.
Anyway, we're going to talk with a little more Doris Kearns-Goodwin, and who's been gracious enough to hang out this morning, although apparently she was carousing in a bar here at the hotel last night with Larry and Sid and
Bernie.
Bernie
Oh,
was
yeah.
there.
Great time. Barnacle's wife grabbed him by the ear and dragged him out of the joint about 11 o'clock last night.
Well, anyway, Charles has a little news, and he's going to do that. And we'll move on to the rest of the situation. I'm sort of kind of sitting there talking to myself, aren't I?
Yeah, essentially you are.
Nothing new.
Really, but just like in a home, you know, just like in the... See some old stooge sitting there in the hallway just drooling on himself. Yeah, that's great. All right, go ahead.
Caught in one of those what happens here stays here motels in Las Vegas last night. This guy who's suspected as being the sniper who was hit in the Columbus, Ohio area, I-270, for a 10-month spree. The highway sniper is in custody in Nevada. Las Vegas, you know, they're trying to...
It's 12 minutes after the hour here in the Army Summer program. There's been a little girl here this morning that's been standing back there holding an armful of Red Sox shirts, green Red Sox shirts.
Yeah.
And I was vaguely curious as to what she was doing. I don't know if she was selling them or what she was doing. But that's not the case. So, y'all, please welcome Casey Murtaugh. That's the way you pronounce your last name?
Yeah.
How are you, Casey? You can sit down there, honey. I'll just talk. But you want to bring him over? We'll bring him over first.
Bring him over, then we'll...
Bring him over and give him to me.
Here we go.
Oh, I've got one, so they get the next one. I've got mine.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you very much.
Don't be afraid, honey. We're watching.
No, we're here. You're safe.
Why would they all have Garcia Parra on them when they were trying to trade him?
Oh, no, we have different people. I have Martinez.
Oh, you do? They were trying to get rid of him? Oh, no, not him. The other guy.
You want to trade?
That guy.
Clemens?
That's just very nice.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Anyway, Casey, why don't... Maybe Larry will let you sit down there. Stop acting drunk.
Don't sit on Larry's lap.
Anyway, Casey, how old are you?
9.
And how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Why are you handing these out?
Because there's a lady over there, Paula.
Right.
And she said, that if I wanted to, I could. So I am.
Yes.
So there. What are your parents here?
Yeah.
Your dad and mom?
Yeah.
What do they do?
They work in radio.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
What's your dad's name, honey?
Frank Murtaugh.
He's the national sales manager for the station. 96.9.
Okay.
If I wanted to talk to you, Larry, I would talk to you.
I just wanted to get down here by Casey.
Move along.
Is there anyway? I couldn't bring my gun to Massachusetts.
They just brought out a new vat of eggs, Larry. And
Larry, there's some more
sausage.
Sausage in the back there. So you're... Well, I made sure he didn't hit me when he walked by.
Yeah. I just gave you the flipped you the bird.
Are they good parents?
Yeah.
They are? What kind of punishment do they give you when you do something wrong?
I've never been punished.
You ever had a timeout?
What are you, Paris Hilton?
You've never had a timeout?
No.
You're 9 years old. You've never done anything wrong.
No.
What are you, nuts? Are you having fun?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of time for you to ruin your parents' lives. There's still hope. Anyway, well, thank you for the shirts. Thank you for appearing on the program, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, honey. Casey Murtaugh.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, honey.
I didn't mean to take yours.
That's like a Stepford kid. How could you not ever have a timeout?
It's a charming, beautiful, very well-behaved little girl. That's all. Who's never done anything wrong.
God, Wyatt gets a timeout about every 20 minutes. It's almost like continuous.
Consider the source.
It's true. God, I hate him. Anyway, I have to go to the bathroom.
You hate Wyatt?
I hate you.
Oh.
Sir. So, Charles, I'm going to play some commercials. Charles, maybe do some more news.
Natalie's standing by?
Or maybe we won't.
How about Natalie?
McMaster.
Is she ready to play some more?
She's ready to go.
Oh, let's do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. All right. Y'all, please welcome Natalie McMaster once again.
Okay.
and I dreamed of opening our own restaurant, but didn't think we could afford the equipment. Then we discovered eBay. Everything we needed was there for a lot less. We'd never be opening a hacienda without eBay.
Got a business dream? eBay could help make it come true. Enter the contest at ebaybusiness.com, and you could win a $50,000 eBay shopping spree.
My name is Bob Hernandez. Thanks to eBay, I'm a business owner.
No purchase necessary. Must be a legal U.S. resident, 18 or older to enter. Complete details available at ebaybusiness.com. Void in Puerto Rico, Florida, and where prohibited. Contest ends 4/15/04.
Radio Ovaltine's on the air with the Ovaltine song.
Ovaltine hot, kids like it a lot. Rich chocolate Ovaltine, it hits the spot. Creamy and delicious, may I say nutritious. It tastes just like dessert.
Now, Jason, it's time to jump. Ovaltine hot, kids like it a lot. Rich chocolate Ovaltine hits the spot, man. Creamy and delicious, and may I say nutritious. It tastes just like dessert. Radio Ovaltine signing off. Later.
Imus! Want to sell your car? Don't put it in the paper. Bring it to Michael Crabtree's Toyota of Westport. They always give you a minimum $2,500 for your trade towards any vehicle in stock. That's a minimum $2,500. Imagine how much more you'll get if your car's in good shape. Now listen to this. I'm going to give you a toll-free number. Call it and you'll get an additional $500. That's a guaranteed minimum of $3,000 for your trade. An additional $500 if you call this toll-free number. Here it is. 866-336-8000. Pretty easy, huh? 866-336-8000. A minimum $3,000 for your trade. But you've got to call this number. 866-336-8000. Then push, pull, or tow your trade to Michael Crabtree's Toyota of Westport on Route 1. Just take exit 18 off 95. But before you go, call this number. Toll free 866-336-8000. It's that simple.
We're interrupting this broadcast for a special news bulletin. Let's go live on the scene.
Thanks, Barbara. I'm standing here amongst a few dozen people, all strangely euphoric, under some sort of hypnosis, no doubt.
Well, that is strange. Mark, what do you think's going on? What's near there?
I'm not sure what's happening, but directly behind me is the DMV. Wait, just a minute. I'm getting word that Governor McGreevey is about to speak.
Drivers, relax. I've got good news about the DMV. We've improved customer service to make your experience more pleasant. We're offering more services online through a better website, and now all locations will be open Saturday, 8 till noon. We even have a new name, the Motor Vehicle Commission, the MVC. Get used to it, New Jersey. It's not the same old DMV. It's better.
There you have it. Stay tuned for further improvements from the Motor Vehicle Commission or visit njmvc.gov.
Are you losing your hair? Is that bald spot getting bigger? Is your hair looking thinner? Why aren't you using Avacor, the hair growth treatment that has helped thousands of people, just like you, regrow their hair?
I am 39 years old. I've been slowly balding over the last 10 years. Thanks to Avacor, my hair is coming back, and I couldn't be more excited.
The best product that I've tried.
Avacor is the product of the 21st century.
If you're losing your hair and haven't tried Avacor yet, how about a free month supply? We're giving away a free month of Avacor with all of today's orders. Avacor is proven to successfully stop hair loss and regrow hair. Call 800-287-1926 for your risk-free trial of Avacor. Call now. 800-287-1926. That's 800-287-1926. And remember, all of today's orders will receive an additional month's supply of Avacor absolutely free. Call 800-287-1926.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by Haviland High Mileage Protection Motor Oil. Specially formulated to clean and protect engines driven over 75,000 miles. Add more life to your car with Haviland High Mileage Protection Motor Oil. A disabled vehicle blocks the left lane as you approach the toll plaza of the Queens Midtown Tunnel inbound. It's causing some minor delays westbound LIE. Traffic is slow from Main Street to Woodhaven and then into the tolls of the tunnel. In Bergen County, northbound Route 17, as you approach Allendale Road in Saddle River, there's an accident blocking the left lane. And westbound I-80 at exit 61 in Elmwood Park, there's an accident also blocking the left lane. Northbound Garden State Parkway, slow at the Raritan tolls. Expect delays across the Driscoll Bridge. And in Westchester County, southbound on the Sawmill River Parkway, an accident cleared at Harris Road. I'm the morning forecast. Snow ends this morning, 27 degrees in Central Park. And I'm Tracy Burgess with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
It's 5 minutes past, no, it's not 5, it's 24 minutes past the hour here in the Imus Morning program.
Well,
on the radio all over the country and on MSNBC.
Oh.
Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk with Marjorie Egan from the Boston Herald here in a minute. Also from 96.9 FM Talk, where Marjorie and I forget the guy's name. They have this show that's on for. It's not important. He's at best an appendage.
Absolutely.
And Marjorie is the real star of the show. And
Ms. Egan is the headliner, and that's widely acknowledged.
And they could put any stooge in there with her.
Of course.
And it would be fine.
She could carry them.
There are a number of people we're supposed to thank. Let me rephrase that.
All right.
There are a number of people I'd like to thank.
Better.
No, let's be accurate.
Okay.
Well, Peter Smythe, he's not here. He's in rehab. But he's the, and I think it's great that Peter finally came to terms with this problem and went away and tried to get some help. Anyway, he's the president and CEO of Greater Media. And one would hope that he'll get himself straightened out and
bless his heart,
come back and be a productive member of
society,
of the Greater Boston Media and radio and television in general.
Good luck with the new liver.
And Matt Mills, who's the vice president and general manager of Greater Media in Boston, and Matt, of course, hopes Peter dies. Then he could have his, obviously. Erwin Shinrell is the general manager here at the Ritz-Carlton. I'm probably pretty close to his name. Annie McGuire, she's the vice president and director of sales. This really actually is a great hotel. Alan Chartrand, who's the station manager. That's pretty close to his.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Nick Desatel, he's the local sales manager. Jeff Messerman, he's the national sales manager. There's just a lot of people. The only one I really know is Paula O'Connor. She's the only one who ever seems like she actually does anything.
Yeah.
The engineering crew here did a terrific job. It looks easy. It's not. They did a very good job. They actually did better than a good job. Paul Schulens, Dan Kaiser, R.J. Perkins, and Robbie Mossman are the, I think the people in engineering. They did a good, and Jeff Hansen, they did a terrific job. So, and Steve O'Brien and the people from MSNBC also did a good job. And that's enough. So, and if I left your name out, I'm not all that sorry. I just probably couldn't pronounce it anyway. Anyway, what are we going to do, Bernie?
Quick break and then back with Marjorie Egan.
Okay, Marjorie seemed awfully happy, which is troubling. We'll find out why coming up.
Lexus of Westport, the #1 volume certified pre-owned dealer in Connecticut. Is it their selection at 2 locations in Westport and Fairfield, their competitive pricing, or the way they do business? It's all of the above, and it holds true for new Lexus customers as well, especially right now with the Lexus of Westport ES330 sales event. There's never been a more perfect time to enjoy all the benefits of a brand new ES330 from Lexus of Westport. A fantastic selection awaits with prices starting at a mere $32,350. You heard right, $32,350 for a brand new Lexus ES330. And with that, you get Lexus of Westport's signature custom services like complimentary Lexus loaner car with service, pickup and delivery with service, and more. The Lexus of Westport ES330 sales event, quite possibly the most popular Lexus sales event ever. Post Road East in Westport and online at lexusofwestport.com. Offer ends March 31st. Remember, Barbara, I'll do the talking.
Ted, I found this office at Century21Tristate.com. It's right in our neighborhood. Welcome to our Century 21 real estate office.
Slow down. I got a few questions of my own. What if we wanted to buy or sell a home?
You're in the right place. Century 21 real estate offices have been reducing the stress of home buying and selling for over 30 years.
Barb, this might get rough. What about location? We're thinking Connecticut or New Jersey or the greater Hudson Valley or Metro New York.
No problem. Century21Tristate.com gives you access to a network of over 300 offices and 10,000 sales professionals in the New York tri-state area.
Really?
Really. And we'll pledge our service in writing. You get personalized service and real answers to the entire process.
Century21Tristate.com. You complete me.
Oh, brother. Century21Tristate.com to find a broker in your area or visit an office near you. Century 21. Real estate for your world. Each office independently owned and operated. Century 21 pledge available at participating offices.
When a photo from an ordinary printer gets wet, it might sound like this.
Oh, baby, I like the way you move.
Faded.
Oh, baby,
Watered down.
I like the way you
and washed but use an Epsom all-in-one, and you'll get something entirely different.
What's he talking about?
I'm talking about this.
Oh, baby, I like the way you move.
You see, with Epsom's exclusive Durabright inks, you'll get pictures that resist damage from water. So even when wet, they're a hard act to follow.
I could have done that.
Right. For more information about brilliance that lasts, visit Epsom.com.
See the Epsom Stylus CX5400 all-in-one with our exclusive water-resistant Durabright ink starting at $129 after a $20 mail-in rebate at Circuit City. We're with you.
Hey, college basketball fans, it's March Mayhem, and Salerno Dwayne Auto Group wants to send you and a guest for a 4-night stay in San Antonio to see the championship game. Just stop in to any one of their dealerships in Summit, Denville, or Jersey City, New Jersey, and enter to win. It's that simple and that easy. Log on to SalernoDwayne.com for directions. The contest ends March 27, 2004. See entries for official rules. No purchase necessary. What are you waiting for? Head over to Salerno Dwayne in Summit, Denville, or Jersey City, and you could be going to San Antonio. Salerno Dwayne Auto Group is all about choices.
I'm David Collins, owner of Scout Productions, the small business behind Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. And I'd like to take a moment to thank both of the networks that gave us our start. Our friends in television, who supported us so well, and of course Open, the small business network from American Express, who gave us a line of credit with no collateral required. The Open Network gives you the tools to make big things happen when you have an American Express business card. To apply, call 1-800-605-OPEN. Application subject to credit review. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
21 after the hour here in the Imus Morning program. We're live in Boston at the Ritz-Carlton, broadcasting on 96.9. Well, it's pretty close to 97, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
You're there.
And
Close enough.
The opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange is sponsored by I know.
Who?
Well, just calm down.
Well, come on, tell me.
The Canon Color Image Runner.
Oh.
C3200.
Excellent.
How did they come up with these letter and number designations?
I don't know.
Various pieces of equipment.
What was it? The 32?
This is a C3200.
Well, it's because the previous one was the B2999.
I mean, I wonder if there's some marketing.
I don't know.
Thought that goes into this.
C3200?
Or like cars, like the
there's
a Mercedes S600, or which Francesa doesn't have, or the S500, which of course unfortunately he does have, or whatever, or the S430, or.
Don't worry about these things. Just accept them as part of life, part of going on down our road. Just accept it. Don't worry about it. Don't wonder about it. Accept it.
No, but there's got to be a reason that these
Shut up, please. I'm begging you.
All right. Anyway, now you can create and print professional quality color documents if you want, right from your desktop. Why you would want to do that is another thing. Is you can have it professionally done and not get a hassle. May I have my cross pen there, would you, Chuck?
Yeah, there it is. Finest pen. That's the new Verve, I believe, that you have there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful pen.
Anyway, please welcome to the Imus Morning program from the Boston Herald and from 96.9, Marjorie Egan. Good morning, Miss Egan.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, I got to defend my appendage. It's Jim Browdy, Egan and Browdy, otherwise known as Gay Marriage Central here at 96.9 FM Talk. That's what we do.
What is his name now?
His name is Jim Browdy.
Browdy?
Browdy, that's right.
Jim Browdy.
I'm not in the mood for this morning.
I am the star of the show, though. You're right about that.
What do you do on the, how long are you guys on?
Well, we used to be on for 3 hours, but then Bill O'Reilly came in and took 2 of our 3 hours, so now we're reduced to an hour. It comes out to about 17 minutes a day, I think, actually. So we have to talk really quickly.
And it's a talk show about just generally what's going on in Boston, or?
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot. Like I said, we're sort of we are the defenders at 96.9 FM Talk of the gay marriage issue. We sort of think of ourselves as being on top of that. We try to promote gay tourism here to Boston because there's not enough of it. You know, we think that, like Massachusetts, you're homo away from homo. That was one of our slogans.
You're you went from 3 to 1. You're gonna.
We got 3 hours on Saturday though, so that trying to makes up for it.
Do you support gay marriage?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're big on that. Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Actually, I do as well. I figure I don't support the gay lifestyle and think that homosexuality is aberrant behavior.
However,
once you've made that determination, if that's what you're going to do, then you have to deal with the reality that they're everywhere.
That's right.
They want to get married, and I say let them.
Well, I think there'd be a lot less upsetness about this if it weren't the men part. You know what I mean? If it was just the girls marrying the girls, I think we might have it might be a little easier for people to kind of get their hands around. Exactly. That's right, you know? I mean, do you ever notice in the New York papers and in our papers too, when you see the stories about gay marriage, it's the women that are kissing in the pictures. It's not the men. I think that's suspicious.
In the bridal section, yeah, I hear you. In the bridal section of this past Sunday's New York Times.
That's right.
They had a commitment ceremony between two men, both 64 years of age, I believe.
Yeah, I saw it.
Together who lived out on the Hamptons and have been together for 35 years. One of them's a doctor, so apparently that's...
A proctologist?
See, there you go. There you go. That's the part that, people can't quite get around, is the proctologist sort of aspect of this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it creates jobs, or it has the potential to.
Huge.
Gay marriage.
It's happening here. May 17th, we are going to be inundated with people trying to get married, right here in Boston.
But divorce lawyers, psychologists,
counselors,
counselors,
florists, that's right.
All kinds.
The Ritz-Carlton Hotel will be deluged. I mean, you have to think about that. I mean, that's a very important thing. And it's kind of weird that this happened in the months right after the pedophile priest scandal, here in Boston, because it's kind of put the Catholic Church in an odd position. Anybody that's a Catholic here in the Boston Archdiocese, they didn't say much, the Archdiocese, about their problems with the gay priests,
Right.
But like within 2 days of this gay marriage thing hitting the front burners, we all in the Archdiocese that are Catholics, we got this 4-color brochure sent to us, costing about $1 million, sent it to our homes to say we should call our legislators and rally against gay marriage. And we didn't get any brochures about the gay priests in the Catholic Church. And
Maybe they should have let them marry the kids.
Well, some of them were over 18. As long as they were over 18, I'd be for it.
I was talking with Marjorie Egan from the Boston Herald. It's 23 told. How do you all feel about Barnacle coming over there? Some people were upset, some weren't. What?
Well, we kind of, we're the opposite paper in town. The Herald and the Globe. He's from the Globe. He was at the Globe for 25 years. And people were like a little miffed at the beginning. But something? It's great for my newspaper. I think it's great for Mike Barnacle. He's usually a talented guy, and I'm going to be writing with him the same day, so I figure his increased circulation will help my increased circulation. And Barnacle's a usually talented guy. He's been out of the Boston newspapers for 6 years. That's long enough.
Are you? Yeah, I agree. Are you married?
I'm divorced.
Do you have kids?
I do. I have 3 kids.
Did you once date John Kerry?
Well, I went to lunch with him once. I did go to lunch with him once.
That was romantic.
Well, I kind of thought it might have some opportunity for romance, and he wasn't married at the time.
Right.
He had not yet betrothed himself to Ms. Teresa Hines. And I thought, but he's a serious guy. You know what I mean? He's a serious guy. We went to lunch in the waterfront. He had a glass of wine. I had a glass of wine. I had I'm a cheap drunk. I had 2 sips of the glass of wine. You try to ask him questions, like you say, how is it to go out with Morgan Fairchild, Senator Kerry, and all he wanted to talk about was education policy. You know what I'm saying? He can't loosen up, and I kind of disgraced myself. I'm embarrassed to be sitting here next to this.
Was this a social lunch, or were you in the role of a reporter?
I was in the role of the reporter, but I thought, Oh,
you made it sound like it was a
situation. No, I wish, but it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't happen. He never called me again.
That's an odd segue, Morgan Fairchild to Teresa Hines, isn't it? Well, generally men and women too go for sort of the same type, are they? Morgan Fairchild you can write off as a lapse in taste, but.
Listen, he's a rare man. How many senators, rich and powerful men, marry women that are 6 or 7 years older than they are? That's very rare. And those of us who are romantic, I want to believe it was a true love kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You think
I don't want to believe it was the 57 Hines account or the ski house night. I want to believe it's true. And by the way, you called her a fruit peddler from Bucharest. I stole your line about the pashima she wears. But you know, she's for 65 years old. Is she not a gorgeous looking woman?
Absolutely.
She's kind of got the smoky Mozambique thing going. She's kind of sexy. She's very smart. She's outspoken. I love that. I love the fact that she said she had Botox. I love that.
She has more chemicals in her face than they found at Chernobyl.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At least she admits she's got the chemicals.
Oh, no,
in her
that's
face.
fine.
See, to me, the big question with John Kerry, and this is why I've kind of been estranged from the campaign, is that you know, right after his prostate surgery, I wrote a column wondering whether you could, you know, win an election without an erection, and that's been somewhat a difficult thing for me in terms of my relationship with the campaign.
Well, what did you just say? I was just like kind of half listening. I was thinking about how many commercials I had left to do.
He had the prostate surgery.
Right, I remember that.
I wrote a column wondering, you know, this is a very macho country, and
sure.
you know, the cowboy hats and the George Bush and the big boots and all that kind of stuff, and whether in the United States of America you could win an election without an erection. And
well, we had 8 years of a problem with a guy who couldn't get an erection down.
Well, that's true.
Oh, we don't even know.
That's true. And we saw what happened to Bob Dole when he tried to go up against Mr. Clinton.
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point. So I don't know. So that's sort of strained my relationship, and I have written columns kind of poking fun at the you know, the marriage situation.
Yeah, we read your columns all the time, Leo. That's why we like you, because you're even more vicious than we are. Anyway, more with Marjorie.
I don't think so. It'd be hard to beat the Bernard over there, that's for sure.
More with Marjorie Aiken coming up. It's 19 minutes now till the hour here on the Imus Morning Program. We're in Boston, Massachusetts at the Ritz-Carlton, broadcasting on our very fine affiliate, one of my favorites, 96.9, it looks like.
Yeah, that's it, 96.9.
Get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. Better run, girl. You're much too young, girl. Imus in the morning.
All right, Mohegan Sun wants you to hit the jackpot as the progressive jackpot giveaway continues.